ready to go, folks. So let's hop into our first matchup here on Kalahari. It's RRQ Kazu versus Kagendra. And it's our first game of this best of 3 series. And already we are seeing pot shots coming out from RRQ. They want a battle, Tash.
Yeah, and we already expected this just from that comp. Raz took a lot of damage just now. He's barely already getting knocked down. They're trying to take a bit more space. Raz and his teammate are doing so well, just slowly taking up space. Give them an inch, they take a whole mile. But 18 deer close, that shotgun in hand is the key to just really knocking them quickly. And being able to isolate these fights are going to be key.
Yeah, so look at this 18 deer moving towards the team and already using the Tatsuya dash coming in with the pot shots. And oh no, he absolutely flubbed the initiation. And he's the first one to go down for the team. So RQ already down a player. This is what Kagendra wanted.
Exactly. His teammate is close, but the weapon will be swapping hands, and this is massive because when you are running that, that shield, you want to take advantage. You want to rush forward and try and punish them for it as well. But Kagendra was very much ready for it. Abai here, all alone in terms of positioning here, a lot more space already in control of Kagendra. Rushing up forward, Kagendra want to trade out. They jump through. Abai nearly wins it, but Kage in a 1-2 punch takes it away, and suddenly RQ down with 2. A 2-man disadvantage, try to move around the area. They have an idea where Dudes is. Dudes trying to run away with his life. Isolated fights is what he wants. Gets one to his name, but Kagendra doesn't allow it from happening. Dudes eliminated quickly, and the rest of the team just floods, chasing the heck out of the final guy, and Kage will take round 1.
Kage, they reacted to that beautifully. Like I think they already knew from the draft, from the characters that they had chosen, the survivors, that RRQ Kazu wanted to play hyper aggressive. But I didn't think Kazu would play so. I think this is probably the best word for it. They played quite recklessly because they played very spread apart. They sent 18 deer first by himself with no support. So I'm not sure what RQ was kind of hoping to achieve with this. Was it maybe they were hoping 18 deer would be able to get the instant knock himself with the shotgun? I'm not quite sure, but yeah, very, very risky first round here for RQ. They can make the comeback happen, but if they're gonna continue to play like this, they have to make that first shot count.
They really do. I think Kagendra is just so good at maintaining control over their area and areas of play. Now for the rest of the team, they're just sort of like moving around the containers forward. They have a glue wall set up here. Abai will be the first one forward, but Dudes was ready for a quick trade as soon as the first contact happens. Irap as well from the other angle, and Kagendra cannot hold. Immediately RQ just swarm and pinch from so many different parts of the map. With CT7, last man standing, what are you gonna do? The nades to just open things up in the corner. Goes a bit wide, takes a bit of chip damage, but Abai's tracking. Uncontested and just too good. RQ finally figured out the Rubik's Cube.
They figured out the Rubik's Cube, but I think that on the other end of the spectrum, Kagendra, they tried to sort of pull off what RRQ Kazu did in that first round. They played very far forward. They sent their players in probably, I feel like, a little bit too preemptively in that fight. And I think they would have been in a better position if they were the ones to play defense rather than offense, because that's what their lineup really excels at. They really excel at defense rather than being the ones to make that first move. But we are going into round number 3 here, Tash, the deciding round for this first game. And we'll have to see what the play is here. Is Kage going to slow things down, or will RRQ's rush work for this third game?
Raz very aggressively forward. He took a lot of chip damage here, but for 2 different angles played. Kagendra doing so well and just isolating these fights. So easy for them, and Abai both fall, including Raz. Ma'al from off the angle there, shooting away with so many different players, even stealing away another life. But Dudes in the back, still able to find a nice flank forward, and Ma'al down in a 1v1, somehow wins it in the end, and RQ barely, not barely, but just wins it in an almost clean fashion.
Almost in a clean fashion, but at the end of the day, they managed to keep most of them, all their players alive. They had to do a couple of picks, but man, that was a really tense fight there just to try and grab the loot in the central area there. So Kagendra, I mean, they did a very, very brave move, especially up against a team like RRQ. To be fair, we all know who RRQ are. A very veteran lineup of players that have played a lot of Free Fire. They know the limitations of their characters, whereas for Kage, they are a little bit on the newer end. of the esports scene, but they're doing really well up against RRQ thus far, even though they are down one game.
That's a lot of damage.
But yep, there's a lot of damage. Couple of shots from Duets, none of them landing any fatal shots yet. But all it takes is for one head to accidentally pop out.
I love this off angle that RRQ is just exploiting. They have so many angles and corners played. Look at how high up Ma'al is. That bird's eye vantage is enough to catch Kagendra, off guard, especially if RRQ decides to fight out there in the open. But both teams taking a more slower approach, and both teams don't really want to start their advance. If anything, it's just some first few shots coming through as Deer is going to be the one to open things up. 18 Deer, massive pick off there. CT7 bleeding to death. I'm not sure whether or not they can pick him up.
I don't think they can. If they're leaving him to bleed, that means they feel that he's just not really in a great position to save. And yeah, but they are hidden under the ship, and their ship is being invaded by raiders called RRQ Kazu. 18 Deer though, he's trying to find that opening so far, but he's gonna rush in with the dash, and he's right on top of Kage here. And Kage, they just don't have enough to mount the defense, and 18 Deer is shredding the team dash.
Like you said, 18 Deer, he can do long range, mid range, he can go aggressive as well. This guy is sharp, this guy is fast. How much space he's able to take off angles, play to perfection as well. And being able to tag team off your teammates to really abuse the shield, the chrono, the time turner is a lot, if you ask me.
It is. So we're up to round number 5 of 11 here, folks. And we're going to be in the, under the bones. A very, very scary place, actually. There is a lot of places where you can get some pretty high elevation if the elevation is going to be the play. But it looks like for the round, Kagendra, they do want to get their hands on that cyber airdrop. But RRQ, they are in a position to potentially get a couple of early eliminations if Kagendra tried to go for the cyber loot drop. But they will be able to secure it, it seems. Raz is going to be there with the glue wall. So Duts unable to really stop this. So Kagendra, they've taken 2 cyber airdrops thus far.
First blood.
It's always 18 Deer to open things up. Great first contact play. Naba is positioned on the high ground here. I think he definitely hears everything happening at the bottom there. It's just a matter of when he can actually pop his head out for that fatal blow. Ma'al as well. If you look at where the positions are on the map here, Kagendra, not only are they on a low ground, they're surrounded from different angles. You take a fight face to face either with Ma'al or anyone else, you are going to be in so much trouble.
Oh,
Look at his off angle play, abused perfectly by Abay. And knowing the man disadvantage, Abay decides to go a bit more aggressive, puts a bit of damage onto his teammate, finds nothing. Easy for that, rushes forward, wants to take his 1v1 against 18 Deer. 18 Deer falls, runs as well, swarm! And the rest of RQ force back. They don't want to really challenge this quite yet. Finds a different way to rendezvous and move together as a team, especially since they, for the first time in a few rounds, are on the back end. But Ma'al and Dudes, you can always rely on them to make a bad situation to a good one.
And so far it is working amazingly in RRQ Kazu's favor after that first round where things looked a little bit shaky for RRQ. I think they kind of woke up after that, and they're starting to realize how Kagendra like to play. And Kagendra, I mean, so far, Tash, we're kind of seeing this team play quite split, right? You've got the dastardly duo always stuck together, Easy to Dead, and I believe it's Raz together. And then it's basically CT7 and Rap. Era, they have to be the ones to sort of play cover, but so far they've been the ones been getting picked off rather than their frontline duo.
I think RQ just really slowed down the beginning of the games. The early game calls just really good. Just to say, hey, where exactly are the other players playing around? How can we separate these fights? They're in a very defensive style play. What can we do to be able to just really punish them for playing at least far away from each other? I have to say, about Kagendra, in terms of positioning, they haven't been in prime positions to be able to trade or tag team of one another.
No, they haven't, but I kind of feel like they've done it because they wanted to get those early cyber airdrops, which, I mean, there is some kind of payoff there for the team, but you've given away 4 rounds to RRQ Kazu. Like, this puts you at risk of potentially just losing the round altogether just for econ. So, I mean, Kagendra, they are slowing things down, and I think RRQ, they are starting to sense this moment where Kagendra, they are going to play a little bit more cautiously, more position-based, and now it's going to be up to RRQ to be the ones to make that first move again. But Kage, they're going to move forward with their Dastardly duo again. Raz and Easy for Dead running in together, but 18 Deer trying to find that opening. Abe able to get out with the dash there. And all of a sudden, Abe, there are so many players, but the grenade catching out CT7, so already taking a player out for Kage.
Kagendra is taking so much damage from different areas. 18 Deer doing God's work right now. Weaving around the area, using all these glue walls to his advantage. And this round, my friends, is just the 18 Deer show. His movement is just phenomenal. Weaving around left and center, allowing his teammates to be taking the brunt of the damage and allowing his teammates to let them just allow Kagendra to just really tunnel vision of everyone else. He was unstoppable. No one can see him up until they die.
Well, now we have a bit of an issue here, Tash, because Kazu, they are up to 5 wins in our round, and we're up to round 7. So Kagendra, they have to start picking things up here because we're at match point. You cannot afford to lose any of your rounds here. But again, we're going to be rushing forward for that cyber airdrop, and Raz already on the ground.
And Abai just rushes forward as well, clears out Raz. 18 Deer tag teams forward. Glue wall set to perfection as the rest of Kagendra weave around the area. Dudes from another corner of the map shows his hand, and by the time you see him, they're all dead. Already Abai and 18 Deer rushing forward. Dudes as well finds the head of CT7. Where's last man?